Alrighty, it says we are live. So hello, happy Sunday, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where in the world you are today. And my name is Jules. I'm the Dawdling writer, and today I have a friend.
Hello, I'm Erin, and I've been secretly sitting in on some of these live streams for a while under my personal email or personal YouTube account, Erin R, but I'm joining you today with Learn Tarotology. It's nice to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yes, so full disclosure, I have known Erin for a long time.
Let's not answer that question.
Yeah. So essentially, Erin and I have been good friends for a very long time. We have at some points worked together, and just in general, there is a fun like friendship group bonding sisterhood, from a different mother. And
Absolutely.
And Erin is the reason why I know as much as I do about tarot and astrology. And so there is that. So that's my disclosure, is that I know Erin, and I know as much as I do about tarot from Erin. So she's to blame for all of this, in other words.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Tessa was the first one today. Hello, Tessa. And Tessa, I'm amazed by how late you stay up at night and then you're ready to go again the next day. You're very, very, very awake when I would not be. Yes, and at any point in time, feel free to ask any questions, because we are going to be doing more of a chatty session today. We are going to do a couple of sprints, but we are going to be sort of chatting about tarotology and how to learn it, what it is, all that's associated with it. So yes, so if you have any questions about tarot, astrology, archetypes, and how they all fit together in one big ball of mysterious coinky-dinks. Or is it a coinky-dink? And yes, I know it. Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions, essentially. And there's Erin's new logo. And Megan is here. Hello. Sarah is here. Hey, all. Squisms. Hello, hello, hello.
Love it. Love it.
And Chloe is here with all the eyes. Hi. And Charlie is here. Hey, hey. Welcome. All right. So
looks like I
am kind of going to start this off more of like interview-esque style. So when you first mentioned the name of your new business venture, Learn Tarotology or Tarotology, I was like, tarot, astrology mixed together, had a baby? What is this? So in your own words, what is tarotology?
So tarotology is actually the formal term for the study of tarot. Some people pronounce it tarotology, tarology, same thing. I just really like it because it also sounds like exactly as you said, if tarot and astrology had a baby. It's wonderful. And so I just thought it was all encompassing and perfect. And also no one else had used it yet.
Always a bonus.
Yes.
Or something to branding. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. So, and I'm not going to lie, like when you told me, I'm thinking I'm starting a bit of a new small business. I'm going to get, all my paperwork done. I've gone to attorneys. I've gotten my papers. I'm like, why now? Like in the midst, because you started this like in shelter in place quarantine.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to lie, I thought you were a wee bit nuts. So yes. Why now?
Oh my gosh, it's why not now? First of all, I don't do well with too much time on my hands and nothing to do. You know me well. You know I get into mischief. So when I'm stuck at home and I'm working from home and I can't leave, the wheels start spinning. And I had been active in a lot of tarot communities, and I saw what happened when people who did their readings and had their businesses suddenly had to shift online, and realized, everyone's using Zoom. We're all adapting to this technology. We're about to enter the age of Aquarius. There's going to be a shift in the way we work, right? You can look at how we've been operating very, even how we talk about classes, right? In schools, everyone's talking about the synchronous approach. Now they're like, well, maybe hybrid, maybe asynchronous. This idea of everything being linear and on the third dimension, right? Everything is simultaneous. And so you have to be present and everyone has to be maybe in the same place. And we go from a very time-based concept. Mm-hmm. So now we're in an experience-based concept. We're online. We're connecting with people all over the world, as you are doing through your amazing YouTube. And you're able to share this space with people. It doesn't matter if it's 1 p.m. here and it's 1 a.m. there. It's all together. You're in the same place and you're sharing your same ideals, like minds, like ideals, and you're able to reach out and connect with people who you otherwise might not be able to. And you're also able to find your tribe. So when you're stuck at home and you're not able to go out to the coffee shop with Jules, you have to improvise and get Zoom and then decide, you know what, I'm going to start a business because everyone's having to switch how they're operating. And so this is just going to be going forward. Technology is going to keep evolving. We've all gotten used to this by now. It's been 6 months. So it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And well, to be honest, I said that I thought you were a little bit crazy, but if I'm going to be honest, I also really started doing more AuthorTube stuff also in lockdown. So it's not like, we kind of share some of the same insanity.
I'll actually add to that. It's not actually just us either. This is a cultural shift, the influences of the planets, if we really want to get into it. There's a lot going on cosmically that is making people really step back and assess. And you're going to find that a lot of people are going to come out of the other side of this whole period of time, which it's really started. The seeds of it started in December of last year. You had a whole lot of really big, hefty energy, big planets transiting into Capricorn. And they just sort of just kept colliding and just adding. So there's so much heavy energy. There's, Saturn, Pluto, even Jupiter was there for a bit hanging out, and they're making us really evaluate our structures, our systems, and all the imposition. And we're also in an emperor year, 2020. She gets into the tarot side of things, which is big picture and boundaries. And people are starting to say, you know what? Is this what I want? Is this me? And at the end of this period, we're going to have a lot of people who are going to be shifting. They're not going to be doing the same thing they were doing before. And some people are probably seeing this as a bit of a crisis time. What am I doing next? I don't know, but I know I can't go back to where I was. The good news is a lot of the jobs and things that are going to be in the future, they just haven't been invented yet. So, don't worry and stress too much right now if you're having an existential crisis. The whole planet is.
Yeah. The good thing about existentialism is that we're not alone, apparently.
Exactly.
Then the whole thing about existentialism is that we are.
Yeah. All good.
Yes. So we had a couple more people pop in. So we had Dia pop in. Hello. And Alley Cat is here. Hello. And Snurtle. I love your name.
That's awesome.
Always.
That sounds like a Pokemon. It should be.
Yes. So, all right. And so you had a really interesting series of blogs. And I have gone ahead and I've linked the description to learntarology.com in the description if you are interested in popping it up. But you had a short series of blog posts on the ethics of reading. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I found really interesting was that you emphasized that a good and ethical reader will always have some sort of disclaimer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what are your disclaimers?
Well, first of all, I just want to make sure that people know that I'm not here to give medical advice. I'm not here to give legal advice. I'm not your counselor. I'm not a professional in that regard, right? What tarot and astrology allow us to do is, the way I see it, life is an adventure. I'm all about journeying. My other day job is about the external journey, send people overseas. This is about the inner journey. So it's an adventure. The cosmos, tarot, they're just a map. The heart is the compass. Okay. The choice is ultimately up to you. So what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? You know, it's all about understanding who you are and being able to harness your intuition to find the answers you need. It's looking within yourself, looking within the collective unconscious. It's understanding that you are unique. Everyone is, everyone's a unique butterfly, right? So no one is, but everyone's unique. And you have permission to be you, to be the authentic you. And if something doesn't feel right, if something's off, if you need to explore why it's off, that's what this is designed. This process is designed to do, is to say, hey, let's talk about it. What is it you are coming to me for? That's another disclaimers. Or another point I talked about on that post is that a lot of readers, you just sit down and they just start doing a reading. So I can understand if they say, oh, you don't know where, let's start with a general reading and then we'll go from there. But the ones that just kind of, oh, here's your 3 card or here's your 10 card draw. And then they just tell you, that's not beneficial. It's not helping anyone. So just making sure that people understand that what the process is, that this is not me sitting there saying, oh, based on your astrological chart, your marriage is going to break up, which I actually know someone who went to an astrologer and they told her that she was going to get a divorce, and she has lived in fear of that. And it's not healthy at all. People have choice. We have free will, right? There may be negative energy. There may be some block there that we need to work on and say, okay, there's something in your marriage, but you're not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, no, you're going to break up. Sorry. That's not healthy. You're just adding worry and fear to that person. You're not empowering them to look at their options, weigh their choices and say, you know what? This isn't really a good fit for me. I think I need to get out of this situation. Or you know what? I really love this person. We're having a tough time. Let's stick through it. So anyway, those are my little things, is that there's a lot of power, unfortunately, in tarot and astrology because of the misconceptions behind it, and what it is and what it can do. And so just making sure that the client, the querent, the person I'm reading for, understands, what the process is, what tarot is about, what astrology is about, and what is just a scam, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's what, because you and I have both had a couple of readers who were not exactly, one, not exactly on point.
Right.
And two, not exactly, not exactly like caring about, they're just like, here's some cards, where's my money?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very different. And, you and I are professional overthinkers for a lot of things, or at least definitely on my side. And so I start questioning everything, and I start questioning the interpretations that were given. And I know that both of us have multiple decks. And so the images that I get and the interpretation that I get, depending on the deck that I pull and whatnot. I mean, I know there's a standard interpretation and sort of like associations that go with each card. But when you, I think I remember one time going through a reading and they're like, and you will find this one perfect male that has been in your life since a long time ago, and they will suddenly become a romantic interest to you. And
I remember that. I remember that lady.
No?
Yeah.
No.
If I recall, she also told me I'd be married at 23.
Right.
Yeah.
At that
didn't pan out.
I think at that point we were like maybe 6 months from being 23, if that. So you and I both know that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So it's really interesting about the interpretations, but also I find it fascinating as I've read more and talked to you about it, that when you pull a card and it's a father figure, it's not necessarily a male in your life. And so when the reader just says, oh, your father figure in your life, he is like, he's this such and such, da 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 da, infecting your life with this kind of energy. It's not necessarily always a male. And so I think a lot of times when they just do that, here's all your cards, here's what I see, and there's none of that interaction that you're talking about, that disclaimer, that asking the querent what they are looking for, that becomes a weird situation where the tarot reader tells you, I'm going to go get together with somebody that I've known for 13 plus years, and no.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true that we have projective and receptive energy in both of us, the anima and the animus, right? That goes back to Carl Jung and archetypes and shadow sides. We have light, we have dark. We're multifaceted. We talked about this just the other day. We're onions, right? Lots of layers. But especially court cards are really tricky. Even, sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, okay, this can be like 3 different things, and I'm going to throw it out there and you tell me if you agree. And surprisingly, a lot of times people will say, yeah, actually, it's kind of all those at once. So and you cannot just apples to apples. Oh, it's a queen of swords. She's got dark hair. She's got, she's got a mean expression on her face. You had a strict mother. Which that could just mean that you are dealing with someone who is, very sharp tongued. Maybe they're witty, they're quick, but maybe they're very intelligent, but maybe they're sometimes their words cut, right? And that can be you. It could be your brother. It could be. It depends on the situation, and every situation, every person is different. You cannot cookie cutter tarot.
Right. And I ran into a situation where like with one of my other decks, like I don't have as many humans on the deck. And so when I pull a card where a traditional artist style for tarot would have humans on it, mine has foxes and a badger. And so that whole reading of you're gonna, be confronted by this dark-haired stranger, suddenly you're gonna be confronted by a badger.
Yes.
Like, okay.
I love animals on deck. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, hey, I had a dog named Badger. Is that him? How did you know?
Possibly. He says hello in that case.
It must be a message from the other side.
Charlie says, tarot is a great way to connect with the noosphere and draw on the collective wisdom. Yes, love that philosophy, and that is a wonderful, healthy way to see it. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. We all have all of this knowledge within us, right?
Which is fun. That's what I love, the part about tarot that is connected to the storytelling archetypes. As the writer in me, that's what I love about it. And yep, Charlie.
Yes, you got me. I love it. I love your group. I love this energy. This is great. I love the Jungian archetypes and everyone appreciating the power of storytelling and the myth. It is the story of man. It is our story. It is her story, not history.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. So I think we kind of answered number 4, which specific moments where we realized. So yeah. But why choose tarot specifically over like oracle decks or the shaman reading? Like why tarot specifically?
Okay, great question. I love the tarot and the structure that it has. So there are three, I was taught 3 ways. I think 4 ways. There are 3 ways, and I'll add my 4th, to read a tarot card. There's the interpretive, which means that no matter if you're not on, you're gonna have a message come through. You know, like that's why they all come with the books. You look it up, it's there. But it's a standard interpretation. Oracle cards They vary. So a tarot deck has 78 cards always. There may be an extra one, like a create your own adventure card, but it follows the same system. It's consistent. You may have a deck that has animals on it. You may have a deck that doesn't use pentacles. It uses discs. It uses wheels. It uses something round or related to the earth, skulls. But it follows a structure. Oracle decks, they can have as many cards as the artist wants them to. They can have as many meanings as the artist wants them to. They can be about talking with fairies. They can be messages from angels. They can just be positive affirmations. They can be related to different systems like the runes, or they could be related to the sages. You could have a deck that you create related to the heroes of Greek mythology, just like you could do one related to the Odyssey. So Oracle, yeah, go for it. Oracle decks, they have so much leeway to be whatever you want them to be, right? And you add value to them. You give the value to them. But the tarot deck is going to be structured. It follows the same system. And so there are some underlying meanings that are consistent across the board. So if I just pull a card now, Wheel of Fortune, who'da thunk? Wheel of Fortune, it means fate, chance, things happening. It means good things generally, but things being out of your control, right? It's Wheel of Fortune. It's a fairly easy one to pick up the interpretive meaning on. Then we go to the second layer and the third layer of reading, the second and third type of reading. There is the empathic reading, which is picking up from the person in front of you. So if I'm reading for you, Julian, I'm picking up something from you and I say, this card usually means chance, but I'm actually thinking that for this reading, this really seems like it's the wheel of the year. And this means that whatever you're talking about, this is something that's going to be over the next year, right? A full cycle of the year, all the seasons, right? And then
Milwordy starts September 1st. So yeah.
Yes, something about the next year is going to be pretty important, right? You're focusing on the concept of the year, not the concept of chance. There's also psychic, the psychic way of reading, which is you get a download from somewhere, just something you hear something, or something just pops up and you're like, where did that come from? It's like someone whispered something in your head.
Seemingly something very random to the reader, but to the querent, it might mean
right. It may make perfect sense to the querent. So like I was doing a dry reading for someone once. It was a strange psychic development exercise, and strange lady leading the exercise, but it was a fun exercise. We had to sit across from each other and for 20 minutes, a complete stranger, and just write down everything that you got off that person and that came to you. And so I started repeating back all the stuff that I got from him. And then all of a sudden I was like, did your wife die? And he was like, yes, she did. And I was like, and I hadn't written it down. And it just came to me like in that second, just out of nowhere. And he affirmed that was the case. So it's like this download of information. Didn't come from him because I'd been sitting there and I didn't pick it up from him. It's just as I was talking, just came out. Okay, so those are the three classical ways, or the ways I was taught for reading a tarot card. I think we're sort of skipping the obvious way of reading a tarot card, which is the intuitive way. If you're reading for yourself, I'm not going to empathically pull something from the person across from me. And it's hard to empathically get something from myself.
Set up a mirror.
Yeah. Right. So then there's intuition, our gut. If I'm pulling a card and I'm saying, why did I pull this? You know what? I think maybe this was pulled because of this reason. Yeah. I think this means this, or it connects somehow. It triggers us. We're like, oh yeah, I knew this. Oh yeah. So I think that's the best way to read, honestly, is use your intuition. Definitely don't discount interpretation. Don't try and read just based on your intuition. Don't try and read just based on the empathy or the psychic download. Don't just like go completely rogue, because it is a formal system and it's based on these archetypes that have existed, and there's a reason why these images resonate with us and with the deeper psyche. And so there's a story to be had and to be explored that way, and going completely off may take you in a different direction, and it might not make sense to the person who you're reading for, especially if they're familiar with tarot.
Right. Okay. Interesting. And I was talking with a couple people online, because I know that you had told me previously what my personal card would be based on birth, birth date. But you've also told me that I have a card of the year.
Yes.
So what's the difference, and how, I've figured out sort of how you calculate the card of your birth, because I had to go back through and do all of that. And of course, I'm the only exception who has 3 cards.
Yep. I believe you are a 3. Yep. You are the special one. I actually, sorry to cut you off. I actually have the blog post about this coming up next week. So it's a very good time. Synchronicity, right? That you asked. And I believe, I'll have to double check, but I think I may have used Martin Luther King as my example in one of them. And I believe he is also, just like you, a Sun Wheel of Fortune magician. Yep. There's only one actual person who has 3 cards, but I think that's getting a little too into the theory. So going back, I won't stray too far. Going back to your question, yes, there's a difference between the card of the year, which is for everyone the card of the year. This year, 2020, is the Emperor. There's your personal year, which is calculated by what is your birthday. So let's say you're born on January 1st of any year. So 1 plus 1 plus this year, 2020. So that gives us 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. You just add up all the digits. Well, okay, I'm going to take it down. 1 plus 1 plus 2020 equals sum 2022. Then we add up 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, and we get 6. Therefore, if you were born on January 1st, your personal year would be the Lover's card.
Okay.
Then, what you were asking about for yourself, having 3 cards, there is your pattern of destiny, which is very similar. You just add up your date of birth. And that's going to reveal your, so in that example I provided, where it was 2022, we added up those numbers and it was just a single digit.
Right.
Okay. So in that case, it doesn't reduce. It's just 6. So let's say a person was born on January 1st of 2020. That means that their personal card would be their personality card or their soul card. However, I've heard a billion different ways to describe it. Is 6, the Lovers. That's who they are. That's also their life lesson.
Okay. So what they have to learn.
What they have to learn or overcome. It's like, okay, I got to I'm this person, but I also have to struggle with these things, these lessons that this type of person deals with are even more crucial for me.
Okay.
In your case, your number added up to 19, which is the Sun. Yay, we love the Sun. The Sun is the card of enlightenment. Great card. Enlightenment over time. It's being the center. It's having the light shine, having the light on you, even if you didn't really want it, right? But what happens if you get too close to the sun? You get burned, right?
Icarus. Yep.
Exactly. So every card has it. Even the card of light has its shadow. It's got its negatives. But here's the fun thing. We reduce 19. Go ahead. What is it?
10?
Yeah, but see, that's not
It's still a double number.
Yeah. See, so that's how you have 3, because you have 19. You also have 10, which is our favorite Wheel of Fortune. And then you reduce it one more time. 1 plus 0, you get 1. Magician. Miss, I write fantasy and magic novels.
Don't know what you're talking about. But yes, so those would be my personal cards, and then the card of the year for the card that everybody like. So like the year of the Emperor, is that just by condensing?
So the year of the card of the year that's for everyone is like the energy in a year. It correlates in a way to, if you're familiar, I'm going a little bit deeper into astrology, but if you're familiar with mundane astrology has to do with things impacting the world. Like if I wanted to figure out the energy on the election, or if I wanted to figure out something about some event, that would be mundane astrology or electional astrology, depending on if I was trying to. Anyway, mundane astrology, the world.
Okay.
Getting too deep, sorry. If I wanted to just do a birth chart, that's natal astrology. So it's related to the person, the native. So if I think about the card of the year, 2020, the Emperor, that's like mundane astrology. That's the mundane card for everyone. Everyone is dealing with the Emperor energy. That's why Emperor is really great for big projects. He expands. He is like, that's why everyone's like, hey, let's go start a business, right? He's like, big picture. I'm going to do this. This is my year. I'm going to like go write that book. I'm going to execute my vision. I'm going to be awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But emperors also, what do? They're all about my kingdom, my domain, and boundaries. And this year has taught us boundaries. Very much so. You will not go out of the country. You will not go out of your house.
You will not go within 6 feet of other people.
You will not go within 6 feet of people. Yes. So unfortunately, the shadow side of the Emperor was a little strong this year, and that also had to do with all those heavy planets in Capricorn, and it's all related. So looking at your personal year, that's like doing like natal astrology. That's like doing transits and stuff. What's going on around me? So you start with let's say your birth chart is your birth card. Mm-hmm. And the energy of the year is like looking at the transits. So the card of the year is what's the transits what's going on energy wise this year. I'm going to do yours real quick. I'm not going to tell anyone your dates, but let me just see if I can calculate it. And oh my God, math. I didn't know I'd be doing math right now.
Exactly. So if y'all have questions for Erin, do pop them in the chat, because I'm not great at the astrology stuff, but I have learned some from Erin. So if you're a little bit more not quite understanding, please do let us know in the chat, because what did you find? Can
you guess? I didn't even do this beforehand. I wish I had done this beforehand and known this. Can you guess what your card is for this year?
Is it the Magician?
No.
Is it a water sign? Oh no, okay. It's the wheel. My wheel.
Funny how this works out. I'm not making this up. If you want to fact check me, you can.
I will probably do that off camera. Not that I don't trust you, but okay. So several people who have been coming to my streams lately know that I've been reading tarot for astrology, and know that I've been kind of searching for ways to use tarot to inspire essentially stories and whatnot. And so I have tried a couple of ways of using cards. So like yesterday, I was talking with you and I pulled the Empress, which is your card. And so, but I didn't tell you, but I actually like pulled her reverse yesterday.
Okay.
And so I used the reverse Empress as sort of like the dark mother archetype for a scene in my Cinderella retelling. Because she is the mother that is destroying her children, intentionally or not. She is ruining her children's chances. And so that's kind of like, but I'm pulling still straight from like the characters and their interpretations of the character, the humanoid character on there. I just kind of wanted to brainstorm with you some ideas of, since I just pulled Queen of Swords. So we'll do Queen of Swords. Apparently it's a Queen Day. Like ruling female energy.
The Empress, her energy is in all the queens. So yeah.
Right. So so using just this card, besides character, besides the humanoid character, what kind of things could we pull some inspiration for creating stories as sort of like an exercise? And y'all in the comments, feel free to chat. So what is the normal interpretation of her and the things that are associated with her that we could use to inform a character or a plot?
So for the Queen of Swords, we are talking about the Kingdom of Swords, right? Okay. So what are swords? Swords are the thoughts, words, and deeds. That's the suit. Thoughts, words, and deeds. So she is the matriarch of, or manifestation of, or however you choose to perceive, the queen energy of someone, something who does someone who gets out there, who makes things happen, who is intellectual. It's about communication. So if you wanted to say, okay, who is the Queen of Swords, right? It's probably someone she is a woman who's like worked her way up, a woman, right? An energy, a feminine, a receptive energy that's worked her way up, to queen status, not bad, right? Who is very sharp. She is quick-witted. She is a clear communicator. She is a truth teller. And truth is hard to swallow sometimes, right? So it kind of cuts a little to the bone sometimes, right? So when we get into the idea of swords. So I guess really it's just thinking about that energy and how you want to manifest that. It doesn't have to be necessarily through a character. Maybe it's through the concept of truth. Maybe it's the concept of communication or miscommunication. Maybe it's the concept of, action or being too hasty to do something. Okay. So I think they're really, y'all are the authors, y'all are the creative types. I'm just like telling you, giving you some of the interpretations, and y'all are the ones who can run with it better than I ever could.
So you mentioned the suit, and this was something. So swords are associated with the element of air.
Yes.
And communication, air, yes. Intellect, communication.
Yes.
Let me put her up real close.
And the domain is the east.
Yes. So the domain would be on the compass rose, the east. So what I would like to do is set up a timer for a writing sprint. So if you'll feel the need to be inspired by Miss Royal Queen of Swords here, please feel free to. And maybe use some of the interpretations that Erin has been talking about, or the associations with the elements or the compass rose or the direction. So that's sort of what my idea is going to be for this first sprint. And I'm not going to lie, this is also sort of in keeping with my Cinderella story. So I'm going to be working on Cinderella. I know that will make Megan very happy. But yes, so we need suggestions for a sprint length. So whether or not, because this is not my normal like stream, so I'm okay with doing more than a 15-minute sprint, just like 20, 25, whatever you guys are interested in for writing. For this first sprint inspired by Her Royal Highness of Queen of Swords. So let's see. Okay, so Nikki got here. Hello. Yes, so we are chatting about tarot, astrology, archetypes, and how we can sort of use that to inform and improve some of our writing. And just in general, like what some of it is. For those of us who are a little bit more basic on our understanding of it. So yes. So we will be doing some sprints. You have tarot cards that your sister-in-law gave you and you have no idea how to read them. Yeah, I'm learning a little bit more formally and trying to memorize a little bit more about the cards. So, but Erin is my go-to for like, Erin, I pulled this. What does it mean? So I need to work a little bit more on my own interpretations. So
well, you can build your own too. Take what the book says, but you also add your own.
Right. Okay, so sand timer. Oops, why did it not? There we go. Let me share the screen for the timer. All right, it's thinking about it. Okay, so I do not see, let me check YouTube itself, but I don't see a timer suggestion. So if y'all don't mind, I could just start with a 20-minute to get us started. Oops. Okay. I thought I muted that for sure. All right, Megan says 20 works for you. Excellent. So I'm going to do 20. And for the dress that our Queen of Swords is wearing, we're going to do light blue. All right, so if you have been working this morning, make sure that you save your document, save it, and that you drink something to hydrate with. And we are getting started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All righty. What am I doing? Brain. That's what I'm doing. I got 178 words. What did you get? Were you writing for your...
I think I was writing for my my travel project, and I got about, let me do the math. I hate math. About 660
nice.
words.
Very nice. I also got distracted by all the amount of water that I had already consumed today. So that's why I disappeared. But yes, so how did everybody in the chat do? I'm feeling very, very fantastic about some notes I took. So I did a scene, or part of a scene. Nope. This one. Yay, all the buttons. So I was feeling very good about Miss Queen of Swords over here and her association that I kind of have with Cinderella, or at least the Cinderella retelling that I have been doing. And so I, based on the image and kind of what we were talking about, I had already kind of planned to have her involved in essentially starting a war between two neighboring countries to make sure that they don't have the time to be manipulating her own country's politics. And so, but still acting like a lady while she's doing it. So that's kind of like the vibe that I got out of this. And so that's what I was working on, taking some notes for further scenes, as well as typing up a little bit about the dark mother for the stepmother that I had jotted down this morning. Or was it last night? I don't know. It was sometime very, very early in this morning. So I'm not entirely sure what time of the day it was that I was doing that, but yes. So Petra came in. Hello. And Quiet Adventure. Hello. Oh, why the upside down smiley face? You're just feeling kind of wonky headed today. Sometimes those days happen.
I love that.
Yes. Tara is editing, so no new words were added at this point, but your words got better. So yes.
Exactly.
Alicia is outlining chapter 4 of book 1, but got a new idea for book 2.
Ooh.
Yay. I love new ideas. Shiny new ideas. Mostly editing, says Squisms, but got down a couple of worthwhile paragraphs. Hooray,
Nice.
worthwhile paragraphs. Yay. We read a chapter of a book you got from the library called The Power by Naomi Alderman. Why does that sound familiar? I don't know. But I like the fact that you are using and supporting the libraries. So yay.
Woohoo!
My first paying job was as a library page. I love the pun with it too. So yeah, I was doing volunteer hours for the Key Club, which Erin knows about. So
we've known each other too long.
So many hours. And essentially I had been going to the library every week anyway. And so I very much knew all of the librarians that were there. And so I asked if I could do some volunteering, and they took me up on it. So I volunteered over in the children's side, putting books back, cleaning up the shelves, and also helping out with like the summer reading programs and all that kind of stuff. And so then one day they were just like, so do you want to keep doing what you've been doing but get paid for it? And I was like, yeah, I do. So I had to find something else to do for my volunteer hours, because I was like, I could still count them, and the Key Club would never really know. But I felt like
that's true.
Yeah. But I felt like then it wouldn't really be like quick count towards volunteering. So
yeah, ethics, integrity, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I still remember though, one of the librarians, when I was helping out with the summer reading program, we were doing a 4th of July puppet show or something. And so the person that they had originally had to do the puppetry didn't show up that day. And so they sort of like wrote me in and asked me if I would do it. So I was behind the little puppet show thing, and I got to be the penguin as well as some other like animals. But so essentially they were telling the story of how the Pledge of Allegiance was written. And
with a penguin?
Yeah. Well, it was just like, the stuffed animals they had, or the puppets they had. So they were doing children's books for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star Spangled Banner. And so I could like kind of like flip the penguin's wing over its chest. And so, but because I'm like behind this puppet show thing, I couldn't see the kids. So I was just like, the penguin, and the librarian kind of snickered. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. But she told me afterwards, she was like, after the penguin did it, like all the kids did it.
The patriotic penguin.
So yes. But I thought that was very cute. So anyway, side note. Yes. So let's see. Nikki said, nothing changed with your fan fiction story. You just did some editing. So people seem to be on an editing day today, at least in the chat, because I have not edited anything recently, which, Erin is going to be one of my
you're going to leave that to me. It's my fault.
Very much like, well, you told me yesterday, you were like, I'd love to read your book when you
I do. I really do want to. I will definitely be your alpha, beta editor, whatever you need. Just,
yeah.
If it doesn't end up perfect, not my fault.
Get it done, right? So, yeah. The Quiet Adventurer, your brain is about to explode from taking so many notes for summer school. Oh, no.
Summer school, wow.
Yeah, we do not want exploding brain syndrome. No. We don't want that. But I'm surprised you're still like summer schooling it. I guess maybe your school's not starting back till like Labor Day-esque time frame. I don't know. It is Labor Day, right?
It will be.
It will be. Yeah, well, I was just like, I'm not saying the holiday.
Late this year, the 7th, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Charlie is building a 3D texture map and diffusion map for a mask that a character wears.
Whoa. I want to hear more about that.
Oh, really? Because when I just kind of paused after 3D texture map, and I was like, you need a topographical? And then I kept going, and I was like, no, not a topographical. So are you going to be printing this with a 3D printer? Like, is this going to be a thing, Charlie? Do tell us.
Yeah, pictures.
Yes. Which Charlie's Instagram, for those of you who have not looked them up yet, is CE Dorsett, and it's really cool. Also, the link to their channel is in the description, along with a whole bunch of other ones that you should follow if you are not. End of lecture.
Gotta plug, gotta support the community.
Yes, absolutely. Excuse me. Drink your water, y'all. Okay. The Quiet Adventurer, your school starts on the 26th. That's on Wednesday. Goodness gracious, you're retaking algebra because you failed it last summer.
Oh, yeah. No. I hear you. Geometry is my worst nightmare.
But in all honesty, yeah, geometry, same.
Statistics, great. Geometry.
Yeah. So, but like algebra is the one that I actually use, like for figuring out sales percentages and stuff. Like so like algebra is that one that I actually use. Like the rest of it, I mean, adding and subtracting I can kind of do, but
I use calculus to figure out what the limit is before I hit the car in front of me. Like, when do I have to stop the brakes?
Well, but that's
it. That's all.
Go through the math in your head, or you just like stomp.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you know.
I do know you can use the curve, the grade of the curve or the grade of the hill to get out of tickets if you're caught speeding.
Yes. Your roommate Seb, used that.
No, she used a different defense, but she used the tier defense. Or he. They.
Yeah.
They.
New, and we're trying to get used to it.
We're trying, yes. It's been a while,
So
sorry.
Because I could have sworn Seb said that they convinced that because it was on a steep hill, and I mean, it was 25 over the speed limit. But it was because it was on the downhill sort of like
maybe
I thought, out of the hill. Yeah, anyway.
I thought it was just
definitely
to get out of it.
Is definitely a new I don't know, it was just like 25 over.
Oh, I think it was slightly more than that. I think they were actually
I don't know.
Rounding down.
Who knows? It was an interesting story time.
I remember hearing the number 91 miles per hour thrown out. So that could have been only 25. You're right.
It depends on what the speed limit. It's too fast. It's too fast. Do not take advice.
Yes, don't do that
from our friend Seb.
No. Be responsible. Drive safe.
Yes. Natalie is here. Hello, group. Hello. Welcome. Megan says hi. Yes. So we had I was trying to remember because we had talked last night, yesterday, whenever it was, about some mythological creatures and some of the fun times associations they have with tarot and with the elements and whatnot. So, I mean, obviously the devil is in the cards as one of the major arcana, and he is in a way very much sort of like a mythological creature. So what other, like, other than like the Judeo-Christian devil, what other types of mythological creatures do we usually see in the tarot?
Well, I think that really depends on which deck you use. You can apply so many different mythological characters to the tarot cards based on the artist's interpretation. Just looking at there's a lot of astrological correspondences. And so just looking at the various cards from the Golden Dawn perspective, you can apply a lot of the creatures that are in the zodiac to the cards as well. Of course, as you mentioned, there's the devil, which I think that's actually a fun card. It's a card of great creativity because it takes a lot of creativity and faith and hope to get yourself out of a victim situation. But there's also, I mean, just we were talking about the Seven of Cups the other day and just the various symbols and images and creatures on that corresponds again with, there's so many ways you can look at it. There's the fantastical element of, the serpent, or the dragon and all of those, ideas that we have with what is the serpent? Oh, that's, if you look at from as you mentioned, the Judeo-Christian tradition, that's, Adam and Eve in the garden, right? Evil. Yeah. It's the representation of temptation. Yeah. So again, there's a lot. I love decks that have very mythological slants. There you have, I believe, a dragon deck.
I do.
There are ones that I have one that has a whole bunch of creatures as well that I use for my dream work. So there are tons of fantastical elements that you can find in the tarot deck. And then going along with that, there's also just, if you wanted to look at the suits and correspond them with the elements, and then from there, you can make the association with the elements and different animals, different creatures. So I keep going back to dragons, right? It's like the easiest one to think of. I'm not as creative as you. I don't know what like chimeras are and sphinxes and
well, it's because there are mismatches. So many different
kraken
things.
would be water. A kraken would be in the west. I got that one. But a dragon, you could have like an ice dragon or a water dragon in the west. You could have a fire dragon in the south. You could have a rock dragon or a mountain dragon or stone dragon, whatever type of dragon up in the north. You could have a wind dragon in the east. You could have a phoenix in the south. I did get into a debate about that one with someone once who tried to convince me that because it was a bird and it flies, it's in the east with air and swords. And I was like, no, it's fire. It's fire. It's energy. It's in the south with wands. Sorry. End of story.
Right. And so, you mentioned chimeras, which are really interesting because there are so many of them from like a ton of different cultures. And so the familiar in my fantasy work and project is based on a Mesopotamian chimera that is kind of also a dragon, depending on how you spin it. And so, it's got the hind legs of like an eagle or talons, essentially. And the forelimbs or like front paws of a lion. It's got a long neck and tail, a dragon head with like deer-esque antlers, which is more reminiscent of the sort of Asian dragons.
Right.
Along with the sort of slightly more Asiatic dragon head look that plus wings. And so it is a dragon-esque chimera like feel. And so with that kind of thing, like, because you mentioned like chimeras, you don't really know where to put them, like, because you have the bird legs, you have the Leo, which would be technically fire sign, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And so, but then you have dragons. Where do dragons go? Like they can go kind of wherever, depending on everywhere. So it's like, where do you put this? And in my case, I'm like, it's a dark magic realm because other people think it's scary. Yeah,
very nice.
Also because God of death and judgment is like, you're not so bad. I'll adopt you.
Aww.
So
everyone needs a friend.
That's right. So chimeras are interesting. Plus, like every chimera that I've looked up, depending on the culture, has something slightly different. And so they might have like a goat head or like a basilisk head or like a scorpion tail versus the lion tail, or even like a serpent going backward, so chimeras are interesting. And I think cockatrice is another like very basic type of chimera, in that it's a chicken front and snake tail, but the tail, it's got a snake for a tail, but the head is going backwards. So it's like you melded the butt end of the chicken and the snake, I think is what I'm like. I think that's the cockatrice, if I'm remembering it correctly. Do tell me if I'm wrong in the chat, because I am perfectly like, there's a good chance that I've got the wrong mythological creature stuck in my head. But so you have like the chicken like head on one end, and it's supposed to be as large as well. So you have like chicken, and then you have like snake, and they can like either peck you or bite you. And so people are like, well, which one is the head? Like, where's the actual brain? Which one's the like controlling body? And so it kind of becomes that sort of like that idea of natural camouflage that happens with like caterpillars, and that they like have spots that look like fake eyes or whatnot. And then they'll like move backwards. And so like only their rear end gets bitten by something. So it's kind of like a really interesting, weird chimera type thing.
That reminds me of the four gods in like the Chinese and Korean like shamanism that draws also with the elements. And they had the, was it the turtle and the snake copulating?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good time.
I've forgotten about that.
Yep. The white tiger, the copulating turtle and snake, the phoenix, and the dragon.
Yeah, I had forgotten the fact that they were copulating. I just thought they were.
Yep. Oh yeah, they were doing the deed.
Meld of something.
Yep.
Nasty.
Sorry, did I just like?
It's fine. It's fine.
Rated G.
We didn't use other euphemisms, so we should be fine.
Oh, okay.
I won't be demonetized. I'm not monetized anyway, so hey. But yes, so you feel so special here. Oh yay! I'm glad. Our friend Haley, whose birthday it is, just texted us and said she's getting paid to sit by a pool for her birthday.
That's so tough. So tough.
And she's a Leo, by the way. She's like Leo Virgo cusp. So
she's actually, she's technically Virgo, but she's so much Leo energy. She has a lot of planets in Leo. Yeah, she's she's basically Leo, but she's really actually Virgo, very Virgo. But she presents.
All right. Charlie says maybe eventually you'll 3D mask them. You would like to have 3D models of your character so you can do quick art of them. Ooh. So Charlie has this wonderful space opera that is happening on World Anvil. So y'all should definitely, if you haven't already, they have posted the first chapter for the new space opera, and it's amazing. But yes, so I'm wondering if this is for that space opera or if this is for your fantasy. And now I'm just curious because I can totally envision like this like full series of like action figures and figurines and like maybe some castles and spaceship models. And okay, I'm excited.
I mean, you had me at space opera. I was like, do tell.
Yes. So Tessa says hi to Natalie. It's a character you first drew when you were 12 and you're 43 now. And it's thrilling to see them come to life. Yes, I bet. Awesome. It is time to give that character some life. It is definitely. So Nikki has a Claraline themed live stream and write in on the 29th. What day is that? That is
Saturday.
Next Saturday. An after themed. Oh, so you're getting like all of your next month lives set up. Ooh, look at you being all forward thinking and planning. So after theme on the 4th, Shadow Hunters on the 12th, Fallen on the 18th, Instat Star on the 26th, South of Nowhere on October. You're already into October. Wow. You are planned.
This is the time of the year for planning.
Right. So here's where you should plug that, Erin.
Yes. So if anyone is interested in seeing how the wheel of the year, how the elements, the directions, how they all correspond, all the cycles subconsciously, they correspond together. And we don't even think about it. We're just running on autopilot. But all these things that we're driven to do, like planning this time of year, they're all connected, and you can learn more about it. I have a class coming up on the 21st of September, which is the day before Mabon. Did that specifically so that people could appreciate Mabon for the energy that it is. So I hope that you will possibly check out my website and see some of the classes that we have. That one is paid. I do have some free offerings though going on. There's a Tarot Tuesday on September 1st you can drop into. There is, let's see, the Jung Tarot and Astrology series is also free. I think the next one is going to be, those are on 3rd Fridays. So the next one is September 18th. Anyway, all that to say, this is the time of year for planning, and they're amazing correspondences. And I am very excited to host this class and hope that maybe you will join.
Yes. So I just popped up your website, which is learntarology.com, because we are plugging for Erin. And so here are the group classes. So Foundations of Tarotology, Introduction to Timing, which is the one that you just mentioned, Introduction to Tarot Constellations, Who Are You in the Tarot? And then you have your fall series, Young Tarot and Astrology, which I took the first session last night, and it was really cool. Was that yesterday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Sorry, brain. The timing is weird.
Yep.
So I need to take your timing class. And also the Tarot Tuesday Throwdown practice. So yes, so I have signed up for both of these freebies, and I will be attending this one. So if you want to have some fun, and also Erin has some cool blogs. If I can click the button.
And I do want to say one other thing about the timing class. So even if you're not into tarot, the timing class is foundational if you ever want to do any sort of study of different divinatory systems, as well as if you want to learn about intention setting, if you just want to learn about the cultural, anthropological reasons why we all seem to have these innate senses of things, and why we follow these cycles, and how cycles are naturally laid out in our lives and play out in our lives. And I do think it actually would be beneficial for anyone who's going to be doing writing, especially if you're doing fantasy magical writing, to understand some of these systems that are based in our own earth, and based on how our earth is structured and how we are programmed and hardwired, so that you can tweak them and play around with them in your own world that you create.
Yes, just like English language, you got to know how the basics works before you can screw with the grammar.
Exactly.
But yes, so Erin has some really fun blog posts, like survival guides, a tip for being an empath in our crazy, crazy world. And, 4 ethical practices of the tarot readers, and the surefire signs of unethical tarot readers. So you have some really cool blog posts, and no pressure, but I have linked the website in the chat, not in the chat, in the description. Sorry, all the different locations the link could be. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, please do check out Erin's website. But yes, so do we want to pull another card?
Good.
Let's use your deck this time, because you've got the Mucha deck that I'm so in love with.
I was gonna say, I was like, which deck? I have so many decks.
Yes,
this is my personal deck.
Yes, and I love Alphonse Mucha. He's my favorite. I love him, and so I'm very jealous of her particular deck. But yes, so I've got my steampunk deck, which I've been using recently,
and not sponsored, but I do want to plug that. Oh my gosh, Yoshitani has Yoshi Yoshitani has an amazing deck that's coming out. Pre-ordered it already. So excited for it. Tarot of the Divine, based on stories from around the world. I'm so excited about it. It's perfect for anyone who wants a tarot deck and is a writer and is like, which tarot deck should I get? That one's gorgeous. Absolutely.
If I can, because I know I bookmarked that, but I will find that link.
No worries. I was just so excited because it had both Monkey and Kaguya Hime represented in the major arcana. And I was like, my heart.
I love Monkey. Okay. Monkey is just good.
Let's see. I pulled the Page of Pentacles. Oh, is my internet going in and out?
What is the standard interpretation of Page of Pentacles?
Okay, so pages are generally they may be sometimes princesses on your deck. Pages are kind of like the young squire, the youth of the court cards. So a lot of times people will interpret them to be kids, generally before they've reached like adolescence. Then you start usually thinking more teenage energy. So it's like a younger energy. But pages also represent messages. So layers, right? So these are messages from, if it's the, again, you look at what the suit is. If it's the cups, it's probably messages from spirit. If it is in the South, fire messages that have to do with creativity, will, energy, ideas. It's an idea. You get an idea. If it's in the East, swords. Also, some people, they'll put ideas there. It's really more thoughts, messages, communications. It's actually literally the message card because it's a message about messages. So you're getting a message. Could be you're getting an email. Could be and then pages in the North, messages usually from something to do with money, something to do with the physical security. Also messages from your body. So what is your body trying to tell you? Pay attention, kind of a situation. But again, it could also be, where are you feeling like you're young at? Where are you feeling a little immature? Again, we're looking at the realm of money, the realm of physical security, home. Could be a young kid at your house, could be someone in your family, could be you're young at a new job, right? You're apprenticing.
Or in like current times could be like you were expecting to go off to college and instead you're still at home.
Yes. They're also pages. Great point. Pages are also all students in whatever of the realms that they fall in. So I love to use the example of the doctor. It's one of the things like dragons, you put them everywhere. Doctors in the North, right? Doctor would be someone studying to be like a general practitioner, or maybe a dietitian, nutrition. In the East with those swords. So that might be someone who is a surgeon, like cutting, or it could be a psychologist. So mental, thinking about lots of mental activity, what's going on. In the South, it might be someone who does like Reiki or who works with energy, or someone who does a lot of fitness, or chemicals. Anything that has to do with chemicals, could be chemists. If it's in the West, then we're talking probably mental health, dealing with the emotional imbalances, counselors, things of that nature. So
interesting. By the way, Erin's parents are doctors, so
yeah, that's why I use doctors. Slightly biased there.
But it's interesting that you can sort of go through and delineate that for that career as well into those different types of associations. That's interesting. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind holding up the card a little bit closer to the camera so that we can maybe get some inspiration. Oop, there we go. So again, with this, I'm going to set, I think, another 20-minute timer, and you can use this card to maybe inspire your character descriptions, maybe the landscape of where this page is going through, perhaps some dialogue of somebody who would meet this character on the road, whatever it is that you're inspired by, or feel free to continue to work on whatever it is that you have been working on this morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. All right, so I will share the screen again, and hopefully it will properly work. If my computer did not like when I tried to open Amazon along with everything else. So let's do the orange one that will turn slightly brown for all of the sort of neutral-esque colors in the background of Mucha. All right, so make sure that you are saving your document and that you are staying hydrated. And hello, Becca, ADHD writer, and Devin, hello. Also, Charlie says, Wednesday, we are doing a Jungian archetype for your World Building 201. Ooh, would you be interested in doing an interview about tarot and world building?
That's fun. Wow.
Yes. So, Erin, I'm trying to remember. Charlie, go ahead and put your email that you wouldn't mind being contacted with in the chat for us, so that Erin can see that. But yes, alrighty, cool. So starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That is the end of that sprint. I got 401 words.
Very nice.
But I decided that because of the Page of Pentacles, I was going to bring in the messenger that I had planned for a little bit later. I was going to sort of bring him into this scene, and it fits well. So, very nice. How'd you do?
Yay. I had about 200 words, and also a puppy making noises in the background. Sorry if that's being picked up. He's fine. He played outside all morning with Piper and Tucker. He is fine.
So,
spoiled brat.
So I'm feeling pretty good about the cards that we have pulled for today and the sort of inspiration that I'm getting from them. So it's very nice to have sort of that continual, like, oh yeah, I can make this fit. Oh yeah, this like is a good idea. I like this. So yeah, it's nice to have that feeling. So yes. So Nikki is also inviting who wants to be a guest on one of her very well planned out live streams in the next month to let her know. And Stacy is here. Hello. Welcome. And so we have some planning of shenanigans together going on. Yes. And so that is the email for Charlie, which I already let you know about.
Thank you.
And there is Nikki's Instagram name so that y'all can DM her if y'all are interested in doing one of her live streams in September or the one at the beginning of October. Yay. Did you miss much? We have talked about tarot. We have talked about a little bit about astrology and some of the ways that we can use it for writing, and in general, just like what some of it is. But we've also done a couple of sprints inspired by tarot cards today, which is always kind of a fun thing to do. But you are here on the Dawdling Writer channel. I welcome you whenever you feel like walking in the door. And I completely understand when it's like not right at the beginning of things, because also YouTube notifications are weird.
Yes.
Very weird. So yes. So Charlie says, it looks like I got the normal map and the diffuse map to finally line up right. Yay!
Wow.
Accomplishment. Yes. Megan says, I read until the book got too good to continue without stopping. How could you just stop then? I do not understand your willpower.
I know. That's a foreign concept. It's no.
This is why. So I got the box set of N.K. Jemisin right there. I know I can't see it. It's like too far away. So I got the 5th season trilogy, and I was telling Erin, I was like, I can't start this. I was like, if I start this, I know I'm gonna be up till 4 a.m, and like I just can't do that right now.
I'm impressed with your willpower that you actually did like let it sit overnight.
It's over there. It's nice and in its pretty little box. But yeah, that is I have a couple things I want to get done on my like to-do list before I open that. So that's going to be my like reward. Is kind of like what I'm treating it as, to like keep myself from going into it as. So it'll be one of the days that I'm not streaming. I'll open it up on like a Tuesday or Thursday, something like that, and just like spend the day reading. So
and not crawl out of your hole until you
Right,
finish the
right.
whole thing
Right.
in like 3 hours because you read so fast.
Probably 4 based on the size, but
Oh, okay.
but yeah,
I'm sorry.
and I'm also like completely ignoring the fact that I still have like 200 pages to edit in Project Gray. We're just gonna ignore that.
You gotta take care of yourself too. You gotta take breaks and keep yourself hyped and psyched and not too focused. So it's a fine balance.
Yeah, but I do not understand this. Like, I'm just gonna stop before it gets too good. No, there's like start and then done.
Yeah.
Like, there is no like, at least for fiction books, for like academic books or craft books, or that, like, I stop those all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like, those are not as engaging, except for like upon occasion you will find one and you're like, wow, this is amazing, and you can't put it down. But that's very rare. Very rare for academic and craft books. So then you did dishes, yay for productivity, and brainstormed for flash fiction ideas. Ooh, you did all the things. Natalie finished polishing one of your chapters, and it's 4,221 words. That sounds like
decent.
One of my chapters. Yes. I like the long chapters, so yes. Joined the stream late, but 217 words. Nice. I like words. Words are good. Eva is here. Hello. You were lurking as you tidied the office space. Ooh, another productivity thing. And another hour or so before you have to stop dawdling. Well,
you've come to the right place.
You've come to the right place. Feel free to dawdle productively as you wish, because I totally count cleaning the office as productive. In fact, that should probably go on our word count cheat sheet. But I don't know how many words that would be.
How do you describe?
Like, would that be like a 1,000 worth of cleaning, or like a 2,000 worth of cleaning of words? Depends on your office, and probably depends on the state that it was in before you started cleaning.
And also how much you hate cleaning in general.
Yeah, which for me, that's like pretty high up there. So if y'all have suggestions for cheat sheet numbers for how much cleaning your office should be, do let us know. And I will put that on the cheat sheet, or you can access it, and it is a editable Google sheet in the description if you want to go in and put it in yourself. Tessa, editing still, but have to change up some situations, so you got about 150 words. Nice. Nice. And I'm so glad that you found your notes. Tessa lost her notes probably when she was cleaning. And so, but she finally found them again. So I'm very, very happy about that. Petra hit a little snag. Oh no! Trying to find a Spotify playlist to suit the mood. What mood do you need? That way people in the chat can make suggestions, because I have definitely found that YouTube people have some suggestions for songs in particular, or composers. I was going to say directors, but that's movies. That's why I was like hand waving. But yeah, sorry, awkwardness.
We got what you meant.
Yeah. Yes. The clutter and the mess were created outside of writerly tasks, so you won't count it this time. Oh, you could count it. You could still count it.
I would. I would.
Definitely.
Cleaning is pat on the back.
Mm-hmm. The equivalent of a 20-minute sprint for how many words it counts, but with a limit of once a week. I like Megan's. 800 for a small office, 1,000 for a large office. Yeah, sounds good. Got a render started to share on your Instagram story when it's done. Yay! It's a giddy day. Yes, you are doing amazing things today, Charlie. In general, you're just doing amazing things. So, though you can find the time to clean easier than time to write, especially with the toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, Very much so, but you are super mom. You got this. All right. And then see, or everyone would clean their office every day and just get words that way. Yeah, that's kind of the point, though. That's like why brownies are worth 500 points, so that you just like go and bake brownies and then you don't feel bad about eating all the brownies.
Is that how the system works? Okay.
That is how the system works.
Do word brownies count the same, like in terms of calories? Or are they like healthier?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But yes, coffee, a cup of coffee counts for 200 words, as does pretty much every beverage. So there you go. And it matches your shirt today too. Do you get bonus points for that? Petra is trying to get something whimsical and poetic, like fairies dancing in the sunlight type of vibe. Ooh.
That's fun.
So there's one that I like too. It may be a little less fairies dancing, but it is still very whimsical. But I just typed in like atmospheric female voices, epic music, like into YouTube, and it just brings up like a whole bunch of like hour-long suggestions. I'm like, okay, I'll click on one of these. But yes. So Eva
Lindsay Sterling. Great.
Yes, so she is very sort of like light and puppy and fun. What else? I do like a lot of the this is a little bit more chill type of fairy. So if you have a lazy fairy who is like sunbathing, I don't know, then you could do something like zither music or bamboo music, bamboo flute music. I mean, I suppose you can make bamboo by like music with bamboo by knocking them together, but that's a different kind of sound. I also really like the hang drum or space drum that I've talked to y'all about once or twice before. It's very sort of like resounding, pretty kind of melodic type thing.
Lindsay Sterling makes me think of like Hyrule Symphony type music as well, Zelda games.
Yeah, definitely like Zelda game soundtracks, for sure. I have heard that like Animal Crossing soundtrack is also kind of fun and like happy-go-lucky type of thing.
That would fit.
So something along those lines. So if you have a fun video game that you like the soundtrack to, maybe that would help. Stacy suggests Laura Powers. Eva suggests Watermelon Sugar. Yes. And Nikki doubles up on the suggestion for Lindsay Sterling. So yeah, so those are some good fun suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay, so oops, I hear Eva has one more. You had VIP tickets to see her once.
Oh.
Ooh, forgot them at home. Missed the window for the VIP portion, so you didn't drive back after fetching the ticket. It was oh no.
Oh, that is so tragic. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Oof. Goodness.
Yeah, that stinks. But that does sort of remind me. Celtic Women is another group that is sort of like fun fairy vibes.
Mm-hmm.
The Fairy Queen by Heather Alexander, or just in general anything by Heather Alexander. Yeah, that would like put a bummer on your mood for a long time, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yay! If I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. You're going to try them all. And yes. Thank you for all the recommendations to everybody.
Yeah, everyone's got such great ideas, and I love that you're sharing so much. What a good community.
Yeah. So Eva says, if you're waiting on me to shush to end the stream, no, it's not going to happen. No, it's fine. We've still got another 45 minutes that I had earmarked for my usual time. So we're good. You don't have to shush. I was seeing, because I have it up on my phone, because sometimes I have to make comments on the phone rather than in StreamYard. So I could see that your comment popped up on YouTube before it came through on StreamYard. So I was like, I know I can see something from Eva. Selling you to you would love to see Lindsay Sterling in concert. That would be amazing. Yes, absolutely.
Very talented with the dancing and the violining.
Yes. And so the lady from Celtic Women also does a little bit of dancing, but not anywhere near what Lindsay Sterling does.
No jumps?
No. She may have done like one small jump or something.
Okay. Wow.
In person. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I can't really remember. It was 2014, ages ago. Yeah, that would still be mid. I would still be mid for sure. You probably couldn't afford her ticket. Yeah. 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 But one of the nice things about the pandemic is that a lot of artists are now on YouTube or on Instagram or some platform. They are now doing like little miniature concerts. And so it's been kind of nice to see them in much more of like a smaller, more intimate setting. You get a little bit more of their personality rather than like the showmanship. And so that's kind of fun to see, is like the more raw element of your like celebrity heroes. That's kind of fun.
That's the light side of the devil card, forces creativity.
Princessa is here. Hello. Hello, hello. And a specific hi to Charlie. We know who somebody's favorite is. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Concerts are really expensive now. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately. But they're still fun. But not until the pandemic is over. Just don't. I saw on the news, BBC, that like somewhere in the UK, scientists were studying the spread of it by testing it with indoor concerts. And I was like, that's a bad idea. That's just in general a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you like rock music, check out Blood Ceremony. They are a psychedelic pagan rock band. There you go. Sounds fun. Also, if you like rock music and you like Christmas rock music, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra is a whole lot of fun. The traffic to and from concerts are the main reason you don't like to go, and you didn't. Yeah.
Agreed. And they just charge a fortune for parking too.
Yes. So
and there's no public transportation here, so
right. Yeah. The infrastructure for public transportation is not good where we are, for sure. It always struck me as kind of like the same situation as going to the airport. Like you had to plan so far in advance to leave, to beat the traffic, to get the parking spot, to then shuttle over to the venue or the airport, whichever. And then you would like wait for like either your plane ride or the concert. And then you would have to do the reverse thing. You would have to either rent a car or wait for your relative to come pick you up and then drive you to wherever.
I remember we went to Nightwish way back in the day, college, and way back in the day. And I think we spent about 3 times as long just trying to get into the venue for the concert than we spent at the concert.
Yeah. And it was also the so it was the in-between singer between Tarja and Floor. So we got the like bright singing. It was still fun. So
it was a good concert, yeah, but
I had, for whatever reason, I had missed the whole fact that like Tarja had left. And so I was like, why is she blonde? Why would she do that to her hair?
Like, well, I don't think this is.
Yeah, she had like such blonde hair. And I was like, wow, she must have bleached the heck out of that. It's like, because her hair was black. So then I afterwards looked into it and I was like, oh, it was a totally different person. That makes a whole lot more sense. Yeah. You've always been an old lady. No, I think that's perfectly fair.
Old ladies.
Yes. So our friend Haley that we were mentioning earlier, we had to take her in college to the ER for a reason. For a reason. Anyway, not a big reason. We just wanted to make sure she was okay. So at the time, both Erin and I were learning how to knit or crochet. I think it was knitting.
Knitting. Oh, I can't crochet. It was knitting.
Yeah. And so we were sitting next to each other in the waiting room, and both of us had brought our knitting because we didn't know how long it would be. And so,
and we were knitting in the first place. We were like in the middle of it. We were like,
yeah.
You want us to like, okay.
Yeah. And I didn't have a car, and Haley was hurt. And so Erin had the car. So we had to get Erin, who's on a different floor. I had to go travel down from the 8th floor to the 7th floor and be like, Erin, I need you to take Haley to the ER. Like, so, and then when Haley came out from visiting the doctor, she's fine. They gave her some ice and some pain medication. It's fine. And so she just stopped and stared at us because we were both like little old ladies sitting in a chair knitting. Like,
what you do at like midnight.
Yeah. And it was freshman year. So we were 18. Mm-hmm. You're still 18. Yeah.
18 going on 70. It's all good.
Yeah. Little old lady inside. Lolly Willows is a good place to start with the psychedelic pagan rock band Blood Ceremony. There we go. That's a lot of words. Eva says, if we're just recommending music, you are a lyrics girl. Gunship, Fly for Your Life, and anything by NF. Yes. So NF is a really interesting rapper. So I like that. The album Dark Passion Play. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Might also work. But a lot of your recommendations would be rock. Yes. 2020 feels like it was ages ago.
Wasn't it? Oh my gosh. And we're just gonna get into more heavy energy in September. Sorry.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Hurricane season, flu season, astrological
craziness. Yes.
Yes.
All the things. And elections.
Closer to elections.
All the things. Because, 2020, it's just been too much of a cakewalk. You need a challenge at some point, right? Apparently.
Yeah. So the universe apparently thought we all needed challenges all at the same time, and all of them are magnifying each other.
Well, it's growing pains because we're headed into a good new transition era. We're leaving the old behind. There's a lot of resistance to that. That's why we're hearing it.
But there are certain things that need to be left behind.
Yes, we're growing. We're evolving as a species. It's time for Age of Aquarius. So ready for it. We're getting there.
Yes. Eva legit thought it was April the other day. Yeah. Time is just
doesn't mean anything.
Weird. The longest decade of your life. Yeah. Yeah. Both of us, yes. So we have known each other since
it's been a while.
Grade. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So yeah. So Erin moved in the middle of the last year of middle school, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I moved in 7th grade.
Okay. End of 7th grade.
In the middle, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got to really know each other beginning in 8th grade. So we went to middle school, high school, college together. We were never roommates because I'm too messy.
No.
Deal with that.
No. You and Haley were, you already had your things. So I was like, I'll just hang out with you guys all the time.
Which is exactly what happened. So so we've known each other for forever. And Erin also I did teaching of English here in the US, and she was doing teaching of English in Japan. My minor is in Japanese language and literature, thanks to this one.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I mean, no, I was looking for something other than Spanish or French. And because I had discovered that Spanish and French kept messing up my spelling. And so I was like, I don't need this. I really don't need this. I need something that I can learn that is not based on the same alphabet. And so when Erin was like, ooh, I'm going to do Japanese. I'm like, not a bad idea. So So this is pretty much like, how things go.
Yep. We get each other into trouble all the time.
So Petra is into rock, and that's your go-to genre. So these recommendations are your lifeblood. Yay! Yes. And Nikki also got 400 words one that time. Yay, we're 20.
Awesome.
2020 has stuck.
Yes. General consensus.
Zombies and rabid chipmunks are coming before the end of the year.
Wouldn't? Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past
I'd put odds on that. Sounds right.
I would not put it past it. Eva is saying the virus is probably going to mutate after 6 months. The zombies are soon. Yes, I love Nightwish. Yes. Yeah, that whole situation is weird with Tarja. Very weird. Very, very, very weird. And like lots of rumors and strange things about that. So I don't know. I have no certain opinions about it because there are too many things that are shady about the situation. But yeah. So it is 4:24. So what do you say we do one more sprint and then wrap up? So I'll pull a card from Steampunk deck.
Ooh, nice.
I just knocked over this time. So it's death reverse.
Yay!
So what is the normal reading of death versus the reversed?
So here's the thing. I don't actually read reverses because, again, there's good and bad in everything. It's all a spectrum. And I feel like it's easier to just remember 78 meanings rather than doubling that. And that's what 150 in math. So it's basically just think of it as if it's reversed, it's really just like a blockage or something off, unbalanced about the card. But the essence of the card is still there. It doesn't really change. So death is just a transformation, new beginnings, but also sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, death. But it's a necessary process. You have to end a cycle to begin a new cycle. And it is not without necessarily pain, right? It's hard to end things sometimes. Letting go is cathartic. But it's let's think about if we are planting a new flower in the spring. You still need to go out there, get your hands dirty. You got to uproot what used to be there. You got to pull it out, and then you got to plant your new seeds. So it's violent, right? You're ripping up what was there, but you're planting new seeds for the future. So that is death. It's beautiful and sometimes painful and sometimes scary, but it's natural and it opens the door for new possibilities.
Okay. So with this card, because we've been talking about elemental associations, is there a particular elemental association with the death card?
There's not really an elemental association with the majors, like specifically like there is with the suits. That being said, you can look at the Golden Dawn correspondences, in which case death is, I think, Scorpio, which is a water sign.
Okay. Water signs.
Yeah.
And death causes emotions, for sure. Okay, so
I want to just double check that. I'm pretty sure it could be Pluto.
Okay, that makes sense too. Either way, but yeah. So while you check on that, if you feel like it, no pressure, but if you feel like it, you can feel free to use the death card or the images on it to inspire your next writing session, whether it be like the angel, the Grim Reaper, the 4 horses of the apocalypse, a former lover talking from beyond the grave, whatever it is that you are interested in being inspired by. Whether or not that has to do with a character, if you want to create a new character or flesh out a character or inspire a dialogue, whatever it is that you want to do or not, feel free to work on your own stuff. But that is there if you need the inspiration.
It is Scorpio. I second guessed myself. Pluto doesn't actually have a correspondence, but it's been assigned to judgment. Yeah.
Is that because Pluto's not a planet?
Because
anymore?
Pluto is a planet for astrology. It's just that the Golden Dawn only used the traditional astrological correspondences, and that meant that they don't take into consideration the outer planets of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which were discovered much later on. So they only look at the visible planets plus the luminaries.
Right.
Sorry, rambling.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's good to know. So do you all right, are we back? Maybe?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Y'all let me know if you can hear me and see me now. We'll try this again. We'll do black, because why not? All right. I think maybe. Yes. The gremlins have arrived. They apparently, maybe they heard their card calling. Yay. Okay. So I think we're back. And we will start a 20-minute sprint. We're going to go black, because why not? And we're going to be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget to save and hydrate. Alrighty, that was the end of that sprint. And I got about another 400-ish words. So I finished one scene, but now I have to go back and kind of make sure that those scenes are connected to the one before it. And then I think I will have at least two scenes ready to post to the Wattpad for the Cinderella Should Have Been a Bitch story. The retelling where Cinderella is throwing horse manure and all kinds of other things on purpose. So yeah. So that hopefully I'll be able to post those two scenes today. So cross my fingers. Going pretty well. So how'd you do?
Nice. So exciting. I got about 600 words. Yeah. I've been skipping around a bit. And also mine is not really, it's more technical. It doesn't require as much as imagination.
Sometimes imagination means it goes either better or not so good. I mean, depends on how it goes. But yes, I'm glad our stream did not die though, because I thought it was going to.
We're having some serious tech issues this week.
Has just been interesting on AuthorTube in general, but yeah.
And Mercury's not in retrograde, or not retrograde yet.
Be afraid, be very afraid, or not. So yeah, yes. I'm not very good at sitting still. So if you see me sitting very, very still, I will have frozen. Either that or fallen asleep. But then I might snore, so that should probably be the clue. So yeah, gremlins came and they were at it again. Yes. Okay, so yes. So Nikki, before we departed, was asking about the sort of the dual meaning between the positives and the negatives of each of the cards, and specifically the death card. So yes. So when you first started learning about tarot, you didn't know that much about them, and you saw the death card and like, yuck. And then you read about it and it was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. And there's a lot of that of learning and actual figuring out what tarot is and what the cards mean and everything. There's a lot of that. Like, oh, I get it now moments. So yeah.
Yep.
Nikki, if you decide to make another Instagram, do let us know what it is. And yeah, that was where I was like, I think I finished. Maybe I finished. So yeah. Megan is excited. Yes. So
awesome.
Yay. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to check out Charlie's Instagram after this. So yay. And Megan says it looks cool. Ooh, now I want to go.
Nice. I know. Got to go check it out.
Tessa had to redo a whole section. Oh no. And you think you still have to go back through it again and line it up with the timeline. You changed your idea. And so some things have to, so some things still have to fix. Yeah. And that's kind of what part of what I'm terrified with of Cinderella, and why I haven't posted as much lately, is because I'm trying to get like the order of events that I want to happen sort of in line, so I don't have to like go back and go like, actually, this isn't what happened. So like that's the one thing where I am sort of in awe of all these web novels that have like the like super convoluted plots and everything. They must have had planned everything out far, far in advance, and I am not that much of a planner. So yeah. Petra got 216 for that one. Yay! And the music change did help. Excellent. Awesome. So good. Yay. Charlie says, thank you, Megan. You need to do a bunch of these, but this one means the most for you, so you did it first. Gotcha. So you used to doodle that mask in class as a kid. You are happy with how it turned out. Okay. Definitely have to check out Charlie's Instagram, CE Dorsett. For looking at this character mask. I'm so excited. Yay, music. Yes, music is a powerful tool for writing. I can't do lyrics while I'm writing. So I really can't because
If I just start typing them
I
out.
start typing the lyrics. Yeah, I cannot do lyrics while writing. So especially if it's Queen, because like if Queen comes on, you know, you.
Did I show you the photo of that at the near the UPS? Someone did a mural.
Yeah.
Yes, it was the best, Freddie. It made me so happy.
So go ahead if you want and either show it or so Erin sent me a picture of someone who had very, very artistic skills with like the Posca paint pens to put them up in. Yeah. So it says, no mask on your face, you big disgrace, spreading your germs all over the place. Yes. Very, very non-musical child over here. But yes, so it's fantastic.
Love Freddie.
And so, yes, Erin and I, whenever we go karaokeing, the last song we always put on is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, classic.
That is the end wrap-up song. And it's definitely not because that gives us an extra few moments in the karaoke booth. No.
We wouldn't do something like that. No.
It's just because it's a really awesome song. And that just has turned out to be what our end song is.
Tradition.
Yes. You fixed an input issue with your microphone. Yay! And recorded the first segment from Monday's episode. Yes. And so Charlie's podcast, if anybody doesn't know, is Project Shadow. So yes. Definitely cool. Brainstormed flash fiction ideas, not really coming up with anything though. You're a slow idea person. We need Laura's advice. So one of the other usual attendees, Laura Nettles, if you haven't checked her out, y'all should, has been doing flash fiction as well. Look who just popped in the chat. So yes, join Laura for the flash fiction flood. Absolutely. And Laura has been getting some tips and tricks from the Anatomy of Prose, which she has a review of, and then a much shorter sort of wrap up of the top lessons that she has incorporated into her writing process. So definitely check out Laura's channel as well. Yes, love to join you in your flash fiction, in your flood of flash fiction. I can't say that. That's too many F's, too much alliteration. If only you could come up with some ideas. Oh, look, what can you do with this? Who knows? That might be something that I try as well, is do some flash fiction tarot inspired pieces. So start with some mashups. Ooh, I like that idea. So if it's like Heroes, but with vampires, or Beauty and the Beast meets Aladdin,
nice.
Shake some stories out. Yeah, that's a really good idea, Charlie. I like that.
Yeah.
That is fun. Laura is awesome. Yes, very much so. Yes. Okay, so we are about at the end of our stream. So, Erin, if you want to give us an outro and plug your things one more time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all so much. I had a fantastic time being here, and I hope that I will see some of you in the future. Please feel free to check out my website. It's LearnTarology at learntarology.com. And I'm hoping to have a YouTube channel eventually, soonish, I hope. And you may see some familiar faces popping up in some of the videos. So yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jules. It's been wonderful. And your community is fabulous. Loving it and so inspirational.
Well, you actually do have a YouTube channel already. You
just I have it already, but I mean, I don't have any like stuff. Videos, no stuff. But yes, and you've inspired me since I've been on your AuthorTube channel. You've inspired me to start writing my own book related to travel, like my other side of things, not my tarot side of things. my duality, right? Got too many hats I wear. Yeah, so it's been great, and I'm gonna be on here probably more often as I try and make progress on that as well. So thank you for offering this space for us.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the fantastic things about AuthorTube in general, is just we can inspire and we can have fun working together and all of that. So my name is Jules. I'm the Dawdling writer, and you're on my channel. Hi. So yes, so there are lots of descriptions in the link, as well as my regular schedule for live streaming, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., and Sundays, 2 to 5 p.m., and that's all in Eastern. And so coming up this week, we have another guest on Friday, which is going to be Abigail, author Abigail Ford. And then on the following Sunday, I'm taking part in the 10K in a day challenge. And I will be co-hosting on somebody's stream, but I don't know who's yet. So that's coming soon. But yes, so that's all I have for you. Make sure you check out the links in the description if you have not before. There are plenty of channels for you to go and make friends with and be productive with. So yes. All right. Thank you once again, everybody, and we will see y'all next time.